Welcome to Azure tutorial. My name is Arvind Kumar. So today we will discuss about availability zone and availability sent in Azure VM. So friends, this is about myself. So today's agenda is what is availability zone and availability set. Okay, so availability zone is a multiple isolated data centers located within a specific region. Okay, each availability zone contain its own power, network connectivity and cooling. Each availability zone are connected by diverse fiber. Okay, it's provide the high availability with Azure availability zone so that business runs continuously, and it provides the disaster recovery, security and high performance architecture. Okay, so don't worry, I will explain you with the help of diagram. So you can see that this is a diagram I have created for you. So in Azure, so there are multiple regions. Okay, for an example, US region. Okay, so US Central region, US West region. So there is an Azure region are defined in which there is a availability zones are there. Okay, so you can see there is an three availability zone which are available here. Availability zone is nothing but it has the data center, and it is a physical location which has the data center which is isolated with a network power and cooling which has this feature. Okay, so and all the availability zones are within the region are connected by a diverse fiber. Okay, you can see this is the all are connected. So let's see the diagram which is exist on the Microsoft website. Okay, so I have opened this learn.microsoft.com, and in this path you can see this diagram. Okay, so let's see. I have made this enlarged. Okay, so this is the diagram of availability zone. Okay, so this is an Azure region. Okay, so in which there are three availability zones: availability zone 1, availability zone 2 and availability zone 3, and these are physical location where the data center exists. So the data center contains the racks, and racks has the physical hardware where the your virtual machine to be like creating. Okay, and all these availability zones are connected by a diversive fiber. You can see all are connected. Okay, so let's see some real-time example. Okay, so I have explained you what is this Azure region. Okay, what are these data centers? What are these availability zones? So I have already explained. So in this real-time example, so we have one virtual machine which exists in this availability zone. Okay, we have another virtual machine VM02 which is having Xeon stack which is also hosted here, and same is there. Okay, another virtual machine same replica is exist here, and these virtual machine VM1, VM2 and VM3 is exist behind the load balancer. Okay, for an example, if an user is like accessing want to access the geons.com, so if by load balancer the request goes to the these servers. Okay, so for an example, if an availability zone got disconnected due to some any of the reason, like due to some fire or some thing, this stopped working, so this availability zone got stopped working. So if a user one want to access my website, to the user can access this my website through these availability zone 2 and availability zone 3, because it is already behind the load balancer. So load balancer is already managing this to it will divert all the traffic to our availability zone 2 virtual machine or availability zone 3 virtual machine. Okay, if my availability zone virtual machine got stopped. Okay, so this is the main reason like why we are having availability zones. So it's protects the fault tolerance also. It helps in fault tolerance. If some of the availability zone is not available due to some reason, so our website should run. So this helps in business continuity. For an example, if we have created virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2, virtual machine 3 in this availability zone, so what will happen if this availability zone 1 got like disconnected or down, then our whole website will be down, because all the virtual machine and my website is exist in availability zone only. Okay, so I have to take the downtime and my business will stop working at that point of time. Okay, to overcome this we have to select the multiple availability zone to create the virtual machine. Okay, and this availability zone facility is available in some of the regions of Azure. Okay, so let's create a virtual machine with availability zone. So click on virtual machine, click on create Azure virtual machine. So select the resource group, type the virtual machine name VM0111. Okay, so in that region you can see here you need to select the availability zone. Okay, so if you have selected availability zone, then you need to select, so you can see which we have discussed just before, three availability zones. So you can see zone 1, zone 2 and zone 3 are visible here. So you can select zone 1. If you select zone 1, then this virtual machine will be created in this availability zone 1. Okay, so let's fill all the details and quickly create. Click on create button to create this virtual machine in availability zone 1. So it is showing deployment is in progress. So our virtual machine has been created. Okay, so click on go to resources. You can see that this virtual machine VM00111 has been created in availability zone 1. You can see here. Okay, so let's create another second virtual machine. Click on create, select the resource group, type the virtual machine name VM0222. Okay, select the availability zone. In this ETOS, select the availability zone 2 and and fill this detail and create the virtual machine. Click on create to create the virtual machine in availability zone 2. So virtual machine 2 has been created. So similar fashion, I have also created a third virtual machine in availability zone 3. Okay, so let's see the all the virtual machine which we have created. So these are the three virtual machines which we have created. Virtual machine 00111, 0222 and 0222. So first virtual machine we have created in first zone 1, and second in zone 2 and third in zone 3. So let's click on first. So you can see availability zone is 1. Okay. Click on second virtual machine. You can see availability zone is 2. And if you click on 3, then you can see availability zone 3. Okay, now we have learned this what is availability zone and how to create virtual machines in availability zone. So let's go ahead. So let's see what is availability set. Okay, so availability set is created in those Azure regions where the multiple availability zones facility is not available. Okay, so this is an important point. Okay, availability is set is a logical grouping of virtual machines within the data center. Okay, also Azure helps to understand how to provide redundancy and high availability. Microsoft Azure recommends two or more VMs are created within an availability set provide for a high available. Okay, there is a concept of fault domain. Okay, in fault domain we get separate racks to create virtual machines. We can create three fault domains. Okay, so we'll explain this. Okay, update domain. So what is update domain? Time to time Azure updating the servers and restart is required in that servers. Okay, the Azure ensures after update of one servers exist in one update domain, other VM should run exist in another update domain at that point of time. So we'll explain you like what are these concepts, okay, by using diagram. So let's see how the Azure Rex looks like in Azure data center. Okay, so I have opened this website azure.microsoft.com, and this is the whole path, okay, of this website. Okay, so we can see these are the data center and these are the racks. These are all are Microsoft data center racks. Okay, to understand fault domain and update domain, so I have opened this website. Okay, learn.microsoft.com, and this is the URL. So in availability set, so let's understand the fault domain and update domain. Okay, so so we in a fault domain we are getting separate rack. So this is the one rack which having the fault domain 0, and this is the another rack having fault domain 1, and this is the fault domain 2. Okay, so in fault domain we are getting separate racks. Okay, so it is clear. So why fault domain is required? So for an example, if we have created a virtual machine 1 in the fault domain 0, okay, and second virtual machine we have created in fault domain 2 1, and third virtual machine we have created in fault domain 2. Okay, so if the fault domain 0 virtual machine has been stopped due to failure in this rack, okay, so our the virtual machine 2 and virtual machine 3 will be running at that point of time. Okay, so in this way we will create the virtual machine in separate fault domains. Okay, so what is update domain? So update domain means sometimes Microsoft want to upgrade their softwares or like security patches in the servers. Okay, so after upgrade the reboot is required. Okay, so Microsoft Azure will not reboot and upgrade all the servers at the same time. So first it will reboot this server, and then if the reboot is completed then Microsoft will go for the other, so that on the one server if the reboot is an update is happening, so other servers would not be impacted. So this is the main concept of availability set, fault domain, and update domain. So let's see how to create an availability set in virtual machine. So click on create Azure virtual machine. Okay, so select the resource group, type the virtual machine name. Okay, select the region. So I'm selecting South India. Okay, here the availability zone option is not available. Okay, so we have to select availability set. So here you need to create a availability set for in this region, in this South India region. Okay, so click on create new. So here you need to type a availability, create an availability set. So here just type the availability set name. Okay, I'm typing my availability set. Okay, so in my current subscription, it is allowing me to create only two fault domains. So I'm keeping it as two. If I'm increasing, so it is showing that the maximum platform domain count is in the selected subscription and location is two. So so in Visual Studio subscription, it is allowing me to create only two fault domains. Okay, so I'm keeping this as two and update domain as two. Click on OK. So my availability set is showing here. So security type is standard image this. So just select all, just type all the values, fill all the values and create. So my first virtual machine is going to create with availability group 1. Okay, just create. So my first virtual machine has been created in fault domain 1 and update domain 1. So let's quickly create a second virtual machine also. Click on create, select the resource group, enter the virtual machine name, just type the India, South India. Okay, select the availability set, my availability set we have which we have created. Select availability set and this availability set which we have already created just before. Okay, so just select same. Okay, select the standard, rest of the thing just enter this detail, enter password, click on review and create. Click on create. Deployment is in progress. So the deployment has been created and the virtual machine has been created in same availability set. Okay, so our two virtual machine has been created an availability set. So let's see, let's go in availability cells. So just type availability sets. So this is the availability set which we have created. So just click on this. Okay, so you can see this virtual machine 1 is running and it is created under the fault tolerance 0 and update domain 0. Okay, and this second virtual machine is running and it is created under fault domain 1 and update domain 1. In this way you can create the availability set in virtual machine. Okay, so hope you understood this. Thank you very much. So friends, it's a request. Please support us. Please like our video and just subscribe our YouTube channel and press the bell icon for latest updates. So let me show you how to search my channel in YouTube. Okay, so just go to YouTube and in search bar just type JYEONS Geons Tech. Okay, just click on search. You will find this channel. Okay, and this is my channel name, Geons Tech. I request you to just click on subscribe and press the bell icon as well.